Hello and welcome to today's edition of Leadership Dialogue Podcast. I am Chikodinaka Dili. Well, the conversation still continues. Of course, we are still peeping into the outcomes of different coalitions springing up here and there, internal politics of political parties, and perhaps what we can say internal blemishes or crises within some political parties. And of course, today we will delve further because a few hours ago, or perhaps more than 24 hours now, the Vice President of Nigeria, Kasim Shettima, was also seen as wielding the big stick against his principal, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And in his speech, he did say that he will express concerns and disappointment at the decision of the president to um, go for a state of emergency, call for a state of emergency in Rivers State. And of course, several other comments were made after that, and the coalition is still getting stronger under the African Democratic Congress. But what seemed to be baffling to not a few Nigerians is that as this coalition under the ADC seemed to be gaining momentum, so also is the All Progressives Congress led by President Ahmed Bola Tinubu is also gaining its ground. They don't seem to be deterred by what is perceived as a new opposition force. But there are also other political parties in the bloc, like the National Rescue Movement, the Young Progressive Party, who do not seem swayed by the new political wrangling in the political space. Well, we shall be delving into the pros and the cons and what this portends for the 2027 general election. Well, my guest is in the studio, the National Secretary of the Young Progressives Party, Vidiyeno Bamaiyi. Well, we shall be meeting Mr. Bamaiyi after this break. To stay.
Nigeria is at a turning point. Young people are rising, demanding change. If you believe in justice, strong leadership, and real reform, then it's time to take a stand.
At LJE Nigeria, we're not just observers, we're builders. We're tackling leadership deficits, advocating for justice reforms, and driving economic advancement for all.
As a volunteer, you won't just watch, you will be a part of it. You will gain access to powerful seminars, conferences, and mentorships from professionals who believe in your potential.
No matter who you are, whether you're a student, an entrepreneur, a professional, or someone who cares, there's a place for you here.
Network with passionate change makers, build skills, and step into leadership.
Join LJE Nigeria today. Let's lead with truth. Let's build with courage. Let's rise for Nigeria. Become an LJE volunteer today and be the change Nigeria needs. Follow all our social media handles for more details.
Well, it's still Leadership Dialogue Podcast on LJE Nigerian TV. Remember that you can be part of this conversation. All you need to do is like and subscribe to our page on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, as well as TikTok. Well, the handle still remains at LJE Nigeria. And of course, today we did tell you that we are delving further or perhaps examining the issues cropping up from the political space in Nigeria ahead of the 2027 election, from the APC to the new baby in the bloc, the coalition of the African Democratic Congress, and several other matters arising at the moment. And of course, my guest is still in the studio, the National Secretary, Young Progressives Party, Vidiyeno Bamaiyi. Good to have you join us, sir.
Thank you very much, Chikodnak.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I would just begin this conversation by asking for your opinion on what many have described as an unprecedented outburst from the Vice President of Nigeria, Shettima rather.
Thank you very much. Well, I think he's beginning to gain his voice now, since it appeared the handwriting is on the wall that the President Bola Tinubu will not go along with him for the second term. So I think I believe that must have been responsible for him now coming out boldly to air his opinion and not trying to be the good boy so that they carry him along. The handwriting is clear. So I think it's commendable for him to have made those utterances.
Commendable in the sense that you believe it's democratic of a vice president to come out in the middle of the goalpost to say things like that about his principle, because from all indication it just appears that he has ranked his principle 0.
Oh yes. When you are in a sinking ship, you need to identify the fact that it's sinking and admit it. Perhaps you would do yourself the favor of having been ranked as someone who spoke up even before the ship sank. So I think that's why I say it's commendable, even in the middle of the game. It doesn't mean because he's vice president, when things are going wrong, he should just keep quiet. And I think opportunity has not been given to the man to really express himself and show who or his capacity. From the look of things, he's somebody that is always being sidelined at all times. You cannot see him. In fact, at a point in time, some of us were even thinking maybe the son of a president is a vice president. The son of a president is the vice president of Nigeria, because you could see him going to places here and there, doing things, trying to put people together, and whereas the vice president is there only to be sent to represent the president whenever the president cannot appear for some reasons of maybe he's out of the country.
And you feel that is an issue that shouldn't have been resolved within the party? I mean, every political party has got its internal mechanism for resolving challenges, isn't it? So for a leading political party like the APC, for instance, and then we have this kind of issues cropping out to the extent that even Nigerians have begun to witness, what stopped the APC from resolving it?
They cannot, because they are having their own internal crisis too. Even in the leadership of APC, you've seen the resignation, the purported resignation of the national chairman. He was practically forced to do it, not that he resigned.
And after a few days with an appointment.
So they are having their own issues too, and it's numerous. And we're happy about that as the opposition, because it is only when there's a crack that a lizard will enter the wall, enter the house. So let there be more cracks so that they will not be able to be cohesive when the 2027 election comes and the opposition is going to take it.
It also appears that the internal crisis of the APC is not so overwhelming, because if we look at what is going on with the All Progressives Congress vis-a-vis parties like the People's Democratic Party, Labour Party, and then the list goes on, it feels as though the APC is able to handle its internal issues even better than the other political parties who are perceived or believed to have, gotten their cracks beyond repair. So when you talk about or say that the internal crisis in the perceived internal crisis in the APC is a welcome development, what then would you say about the opposition political parties? Because as of today, more persons are defecting from these opposition parties to the leading of Progressives Congress. So is that some sort of coincidence?
You see, our position is that we are not aligning, or we are not part of the coalition, or we're not aligning with any political party. As a result of our position, looking at the coalition from the outside, you would see that they have the problem of unity, because they are coming from political parties that are not united, and the problems or disunity they've seen in PDP, in NNPP, you've seen it in which other party, Labour Party, and SDP of recent. There are internal crises that have been, somehow you would see the hand of the ruling party in it. clearly orchestrated by the ruling party. Very carefully, when you look at it, you will see.
Allegedly, you mean?
Especially, yes, that is what is allowed politically. If you're in the ruling party, you cause disarray to the opposition so that you can continue to have your way. So they will not deny that they're not doing that. And that is the game, the name of the game. So it is up for the opposition parties to become united. And for us in YPP, we see all these other parties, especially the coalition, as the same old brigade, the same old kind of breed of political leaders that we've had in this country. They are not different from APC whatsoever. That is why you see them jumping back to APC. But what we are trying to do in our party is to raise a new breed of leaders without greed. People who are not the regular faces you see in politics in Nigeria. People who have the kind of ideology we have to raise this nation and put it in a better state than it is now. And that is the joke that we have. That is why we are not aligning with any one of them. Our ideologies don't come close to each other. We don't believe in these old politicians that have, rendered Nigeria what it is today.
Is your party far from the coalition because your ideologies do not match? Or are you faced with a situation where the leaders of these coalition perhaps did not reach out to your party leaders? Is that what it is?
I'm not.
No, but frankly,
they have reached out to us and we turned it down. They have attempted.
your party brazenly turned down
Oh,
the
yes.
invitation of the coalition.
Yes, because if you see the kind of people we're raising in YDP, is a new breed of leaders completely without greed. These people are people that have ruled for some time. They have pillaged Nigeria. They have ravaged Nigeria. They have stolen the Commonwealth of Nigeria. They have enriched themselves with the so-called national
Commonwealth
of Nigeria. We don't encourage such leaders. We don't even like them to come to our party.
But if I may go with
cannot go along with them.
all right, but if I may go with your trail of thought, you have just said that the YPP writes on new breeds of leaders without greed. Apparently, that's the reason, according to you, that the YPP turned down the invitation of the coalition. So, this statement seems familiar. Familiar in the sense that prior to the 2023 elections, we had a political party, the Labour Party, make similar statements. And somewhere along the line, the same people who claimed they were unbiased, without greed, in fact, they were the saints of all political parties in Nigeria, eventually turned out to be the most greedy ones and enmeshed in corruption, which until today they are unable to resolve.
Well, I don't know about that, but to the best of my knowledge, from the time we were operating as a political association until we got registered, our mantra has always been raising a new breed of leaders without greed. That is why our focal point had always been on the youths and women.
So apparently,
I don't know that Labour Party had used that before. I don't know.
From the time from the time the YPP formed,
yes,
up until now, there has never been issues or perhaps what we might say are reports of internal corruption within your leaders.
No.
That I'm talking about when the YPP began as YDP and then reformed to the YPP.
No, YDP, you're mixing them up. YDP is a different political party.
But some of the persons who formed the YDP, as those members,
13 persons from YDP came up,
which I
merged with other 38 other young people from other parties and formed the YPP.
But you would still agree
because
that
of the ideology we had, who didn't match that of YDP, we left YDP before it was even deregistered.
Now, talking about ideology,
yes.
talking about ideological politics, I'll take you back to the coalition.
All right.
And here is why. You had mentioned that the coalition is a formation of old brigades with different ideology coming together under an umbrella in the name of coalition movements and in the belief of rescuing Nigeria from what they perceived as bad governance. Now, when you look at that ideology and then you look at the old brigade thing, do you not feel that perhaps this thing you refer to as old brigade of people with different ideology might not be expressly expressly right, because like weather, people are bound to change. And when these people decided to come together, not a few believed that they decided to also drop their past to form or forge ahead for the sake of Nigerians. Because I have listened to some of these persons speak, and it all boils down to one thing: rescue Nigerians.
Let me tell you, you're talking about rescuing Nigerians. I don't see anyone among them rescuing Nigeria.
How so?
Among the people who are clamoring for the presidency in the coalition, maybe one person might come close to that kind of person that may do it, and that is Peter Obi. But all the others, because of his pedigree and how his attitude towards leadership and his servant kind of leader person, his personality. But all the others, they are people that have been tested, they have been tried, and they have failed woefully. They have exhibited their greed and selfish aggrandizement. So we know them. We are offering a new breed completely. Somebody, just wait and see who will emerge as presidential candidate of YPP. We'll give to somebody you have not seen in the face of politics.
Totally different
from these same old names that you know.
Well, Nigerians are looking for one to. We are calling this righteous fellow that will be emerging from the YPP. Well, be that
righteousness. You are going religious now.
No, but system that there are no righteous persons.
Yes.
Do you not consider that
no
contradictory too?
No. Righteousness, I think, is a religious element.
Okay.
But you have to have people who are upright, who are highly principled, and people who have true leadership qualities that will lead Nigeria out of the doldrums it is. But the same people who have put Nigeria where it is, I don't believe any one of them is going to.
Well, as the saying goes, politics is a game of interest. So as far as YPP is concerned, it's all about the interest. So whose interest will it be about? Is it the interest of the YPP as a party or the interest of Nigerians?
The interest of Nigerians.
But
let me tell you, we're calling on Nigerians who, especially the young Nigerians, to come out and support this new movement. We want to create a ballot revolution in Nigeria. A lot of people registered. Look, the last election, 2023 general election, there were like over 84 million registered voters. But the people who came out to vote at the presidential election weren't more than 22 million or thereabout. Now, that's a small number. So a large chunk of people who are registered voters didn't come out to vote. So those are the people we are trying to talk to their consciences to come out and vote out these old brigade politicians, these brigands, if I may call them, people that have, done nothing different from what the bandits are doing in the Northwest. They are the political bandits of Nigeria, and you want to still put them, and they are telling us that they want to bring Nigeria out of what it is. No, look at the programs of the presidential candidate of the PDP in 2023 and that of Labour Party in 2023. These are the two principal actors now, isn't it? The same things they said they were going to do, okay, is what President Bola Tinubu did. Removal of fuel subsidy, Naira flotation, just all these economic policies. They all said it, they were going to do it. So if they had done it, any one of them would have put Nigeria in the same state Bola Tinubu put Nigeria today.
And you believe the YPP has its
We have a press way that we're going to.
A different way that they would tackle the germane issues of Nigeria. Yes. Because this issue
we have outlined clearly in our manifesto, and it's online. You can see it. We have a different approach completely.
If you do not mind, in not a few words, what really is the manifesto of the YPP? And how does that align with your chosen candidates?
The manifesto of the YPP is one that is all-encompassing and is modern, in compliance with what happens in the most advanced countries of Nigeria today, the world today. And we want to have a president that is a young man, have governors that are young men and women, and senators, and members House of Reps and so on, elected officials that are young people. They have been deceiving us since I was small. Now I'm an old man. I'm called Baba in YPP because I'm the oldest person in YPP.
And how old are you, sir?
I'm 61. Can you imagine? But I have the mind of a 25-year-old.
Interesting.
Yes, I can tell you, it's all in the mind. They say age is just a number.
So apparently, the YPP tends to breed a new crop of politicians.
That is just
What if I may ask you, in the spirit of these young politicians, you are clamoring for a young president, a young governor, young persons at the National Assembly,
and women.
during the tsunami or the perceived tsunami of 2023. Now, I call this a tsunami because for the first time, we had more young persons voted into the House of Representatives, for instance. Now, when you go to the green chambers of Nigeria, we tend to have more young people there. But what difference has that made? In recent times, we've had young people govern states. For instance, Kogi states. What difference did that make? So how do you think a young politician, which of course the YPP is clamoring for, will bring the expected change in Nigeria?
Yeah, it's just like is a question of putting new wine in old wine skin. It will burst. You have young people in PDP, APC, all those parties. They cannot perform. The manifesto of the parties will not give them chance to exhibit themselves. So that's why they have to behave like the old politicians. All those people you mentioned are not of the new breed politicians. Yes. So that is why I'm telling you that when you are a new young man, go to a party like the Young Progressives Party. Young woman, go to your party like a Young Progressives Party. You will see that the manifesto and the way in which, because when you become candidates, you pass through induction and we'll make you understand what our manifesto is clearly. It's a bulky document, so we'll break it down in a way that you appreciate it and understand it. And by the time you are done with and you are fully having the qualities of the party, when you emerge as a winner at the election, you would see that these are the kind of new breed leaders that we want to raise.
So has there been things like campaigns or perhaps trainings for members of your party as a way of entrenching some of the ideologies of your party?
Yes, we normally organize from time to time workshops and stakeholder meetings where we make our members conscientize them on what the party manifesto is all about and what it stands for. And but going forward, we have agreed or resolved in the National Executive Committee that whenever for the 2027 general elections, we will when the candidates emerge, because there's a long period between the time candidates will emerge and the general election, we'll use part of that period to bring them into a school kind of retreat to train them, show them what they ought to do and how they ought to run their offices when they emerge as leaders. So we're doing it differently this time around.
Okay, so I will just take you back to something you said earlier. Now, at the start of this conversation, you did mention or perhaps refer to the congregants that formed the coalition under the African Democratic Congress, ADC, as political bandits. Now, when you look at the components or the people who came together to form that thing, with the coalition movement, you see the former governor of Kaduna State, Governor El-Rufai, as part of them. Someone who the vice president, referred to as more like a kingmaker. You see the former vice president of Nigeria, Atiku Abubakar, and then someone whom you have singled out to be the righteous hand.
No, this
And
is
it's doing so, because you
among the devils. There is a better devil.
Val, you have mentioned that the Peter Obi, the former governor of Anambra, says is a better devil. Now we also have the former minister and governor of Rivers State, Rotimi Amechi, among the other persons who also formed this. And given that you have referred to a Peter Obi as a better devil, do you not think that perhaps the better devil might be what Nigerians are looking for? Because being a better devil, maybe he could be the Messiah that Nigerians want. And as of the last count, there has been this quarter who have clamored or are clamoring for a P2B tickets come 2027. What's your take?
Well, I think, to be very honest with you, he seemed to be a misfit in that coalition. Yes. And I think he might end up not running for president under that coalition.
How so?
Yes. All of them are looking for president. Atiku, that you mentioned, Abubakar is also running, wants to be president. Rotimi Amechi wants to be president, has already presented a memo to the ADC saying he wants to be given the opportunity to do a single-term presidency. Peter Obi also is running, and he said he wants to do also a one-term presidency under the coalition. So how will they reconcile these differences?
Does that not make it even more democratic? It makes it democratic because
Yes, it makes it more democratic.
more democratic, putting everybody into the ring.
Yes, but I want to tell you that there are very germane issues about each one of them, that at the end of the day, they will be diametrically opposed to one another, and the coalition might flop, or one or two of them might bolt out and pick other parties and run for president.
Could you give us instances how this might happen?
No, I can't give you instances. I'm just speculating and trying to tell you from the look of things. I have analyzed the way their policies are. They might split. There might be a split among them.
All right, we'll go on this short break, and when we return, we'll be looking at the alternative the Young Progressive Party is presenting to the millions of Nigerians. I will talk about that after this break. Just stay.
As a people and members of LJE Green community, we share a deeper commitment to protect not only our environment, but also the rights and dignity of all individuals within our reach. Every day, we are faced with responsibility to uphold human dignity. If you see something happening around you, do not turn blind eye. We must act because that's where our role as ambassadors come in. Being an ambassador doesn't require any superpower. It requires awareness, compassion, and the willingness to speak up. If you see something, say something. It's our duty to stand up for justice and amplify the voices of those who can't speak for themselves. One voice can spark a movement, and together we can create a nation that values human life. You can reach us on 070-5236-8821 or visit our website at www.ljenigeria.org to report a violation. Remember, if you see something, say something.